Good morning. Happy Tuesday, sweet friends. I am so blessed and honored to be here with y'all today. We are going to be finishing up our project from yesterday. My name is Sandra Waldrop. You are watching Kingdom Acres. Welcome on in. This is my segment on Craft Around the Clock this morning. Yesterday, we started in a different group. Today, we're finishing in Craft Around the Clock. So if you missed me yesterday, you can go back on my page and find the replay for that. So what we created yesterday, good morning, Nicholas. How are you? We created this little Christmas marshmallow tin. And that's the label. I created that. That is mine. So if you are interested in that label, it is free of charge. Good morning, Miss Stacy. It is free of charge to you. I will send it to you. Just shoot me a message. Let me know that you have subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's Kingdom Acres Homestead with Sandra Waldrop. And you would like the label, and I will shoot that over to you. Good morning, Miss Tracy. On the other side, we have our Campfire marshmallow label. So this is a dual-sided tin. It's just one of those flowers and garden tins from Dollar Tree. Good morning, Miss Lori. Hot West Texas. Yes, that is hot. We used to live in Odessa, so I know exactly how hot that is. So yes, this is what we created yesterday, this tin, and I just went ahead this morning and added some polyfill fluff in here so that good morning, Kelsia. I had fun this morning with all my silly ways of saying good morning on Crafty Queens Live. We had a couple lives this morning in Craft Around the Clock. So if you missed those, one was Frame It and Contain It, and one was Crafty Queens. Both made wonderful items. We have live crafters all day long in Craft Around the Clock. So if you're not in that group, you definitely want to join. So, okay, I'm going to just jump right into this because I want to make sure to get done within my 45-minute time slot. Good morning, Miss Cynthia. Good morning, Irma. Sweet Irma. Okay, so I did the Christmas side yesterday. Excuse me. And I did the regular everyday one on this side that you can use in your regular displays, trays, vignettes, etc. Okay, so today we are going to make also dual-sided marshmallows. So you'll have your dual-sided tin, and you can just flip your tin back and forth, and you'll be able to flip your marshmallows back and forth. Good morning, Miss Diane. How are you? Judy, good morning. As you come in, let me know where you're from, what your plans are today, and how you're doing. I know everybody's been kind of battling this something going around. Hopefully not everybody. Hopefully y'all are well. But let me know if you're well. Also, if I don't respond to your comment, just know that Facebook has a comment lottery thing happening with me where I only see so many comments. I don't always see the comments coming through. So, but I am blessed to see any, because sometimes I don't even get that. Two-side, yes. We don't have a whole lot of storage in my house. We're 6 people living in an 1,800 square foot house. My oldest daughter, my 18-year-old, she like remodeled the laundry room on her own so that she could have her own space. because she was tired of sharing a room with her 2 younger sisters. So we don't have that much storage in this house. So if I want to have decor and things, it's really best if it's multi-purpose, because then you can't see all the comments either, Miss Irma. Okay, not just me then. Good morning, Southwest Arkansas. Yes, good morning, good morning. Okay, we're going to make the marshmallows for our tin. Last night, my youngest daughter wanted to try her hand at making some marshmallows from clay. And I had purchased the Sculpey clay because I couldn't find any Model Magic at my Walmart. And I knew that I was running low on Model Magic. So I went ahead and purchased some Sculpey. And you can't really get them too big with the Sculpey, because when you do, they start to crack. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me get as close as I can with that. They start to crack. So I really don't recommend the Sculpey. Plus, they don't really look marshmallowy, right? Like, they don't look authentic. I like things to look a little more authentic. So I just pulled out what I have of my Model Magic. It's so fluffy. It's so fluffy. And I've created one this morning, and I'm just going to go through the process of creating some Model Magic marshmallows with y'all. And this is a handful. I like them to be good size, especially for my tin. I want them to be able to sit in here and look pretty, look substantial. I want them to have a good size. Good morning, Tuesday night in Melbourne, Australia. Very cool. Very, very cool. I was watching a reel this morning of a kangaroo giving birth to a teeny tiny little baby and watching that thing crawl all over on it. And I just thought that was the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And the mom was just, licking her tummy and everything. And I just thought that was so cool. I'm sure that you get that a lot. Anytime people hear you're from Australia, first thing they think is kangaroos. You like Sculpey. Spritzing it with water. Yes, I did have to spritz it with water. And I do like Sculpey for a lot of things, but these marshmallows, I think they just need a fluffy texture to them. You know what I mean? Toothpicks. Yes, I do have toothpicks out today for helping us out with some stuff here, working on this. So I have the Christmas side forward. So we're going to be working on our Christmas marshmallows first thing. Let me plug in my hot glue gun. Get that warming up while we make our marshmallow here. Okay, so I was going to go back to Walmart this morning, and then I got down the road and realized I have a flat. I can't go to Walmart. So I just turned around and came home and said, well, I will work with what I got. Very, very cool. It's winter. Ooh, that's neat. Yeah, because you guys are in the Southern Hemisphere. Okay, very cool. Okay, so what I've done is I have just smushed the clay within itself towards the center, kind of like making a dinner roll, right? So that I have an area that has a nice soft, a nice smooth texture and none of the creases. I want all the creases to be at the bottom. And I mean, you'll still have some that you'll need to smooth out, but it just makes it to where there's less. And I'm just kind of rolling it in my hands this way and then smushing it this way and then rolling it more this way. And then I'm going to put some water to kind of help me out here. Oh, good morning. Is that Denise? Good morning, Miss Denise. I'm sorry if I'm missing you. Anybody I've missed, I want you to know that I'm wishing you a good morning and a happy Tuesday. we have a busy day scheduled. My daughter has an orthodontist appointment this morning, and she had an appointment back in May, which we missed, and I'm just yesterday rescheduled it. And the lady who was scheduling me, she's like, well, has she had the work done that the orthodontist has requested? Because my daughter has juvenile arthritis, and so her teeth are deteriorating pretty quick. It's a whole issue, and so we're trying to correct, you know, the alignment so there's no overlapping, so less cavities form, etc. But her dentist wants to cap all 6 of her front teeth, and she said that's going to be about 12 grand. And so I let the orthodontist know we don't have 12 grand just sitting around. I don't know about y'all, but we are not in a financial position to just fork over 6 grand and get her teeth done. So I told her, I was like, no, that's not going to happen just yet. That's a goal we're working towards, but you know, we're doing what we can here. And so she went ahead and scheduled us for today so we can go ahead and get those brackets put back on so we don't lose our progress. She does Invisalign, not the metal brackets. Okay, so I've just fiddled with this, and this is how we're looking. Chunky, bumpy, and smushy, just like me. I made cinnamon rolls on Sunday and then again yesterday. So I am feeling exceptionally smushy today. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on making this side Christmas. What I'm going to do is I want chocolate all over the top of this. Okay. So I'm going to do this one Christmas, and I probably won't do all of the marshmallows that I make for this little design. I'm just kind of dripping the hot glue over the sides, getting it all on the top, just as if I were doing a cake. I don't know how many of y'all decorate cakes, but when you're doing the chocolate drip, this is pretty much the same method that you use for that. Just get it on the top and then kind of smush it over the edges. Okay. So that's how it looks. Just all run down. Okay, now I'm going to give it a minute to dry. Okay. I'm going to set that there. While that dries, I'm going to put just a little bit of black on this one because I like to have some black undertones on my roasted marshmallows. So one side will be roasted, one side will be Christmas, or you could do some roasted marshmallows and some chocolate and leave the other side just white. It's all however you want it, but I like having the option of a combination. Okay, I'm going to do the fatter side on this one. I'm going to do the roasted side. So I'm just going to kind of dab it with some black chalk paint around that rim, just in little edges. And I'm doing it now because I want to make sure that it's good and dry before I move on to the next phase, if you will, with that. Okay, so I've got both of them started. All right. Now Let me close this up. I've got just enough for one more in my baggie. I'm going to have to track me down some more Model Magic because I love the squishy, squishy marshmallow fluffiness of this. Okay. Now the brown I have is just the apple barrel. This is nutmeg brown. You could use a darker brown if you want. This is just what I had on hand, and that's kind of where I'm at today because I didn't get to go to Walmart yesterday, and I did not go this morning because of that tire. So I'm just going to go ahead and paint this. Oops, try not to get it on the marshmallow. It'll probably take a couple of coats is what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking there. Just getting it on as close as I can to the marshmallow without getting it on the marshmallow. Just making it look all good and chocolatey. And of course I'm smushing my marshmallow bottom. If you want to prevent that, you can just get a toothpick and stick it on there. And then you have yourself a little holder for your marshmallow. Oop, I just got it on the marshmallow. That's okay. I'm just gonna make it work instead of wiping it off. Because you can have thinner areas of chocolate too, can't you? On a cake, you can. I still have that cough. I can't believe I still have this cough. And I could hear my daughter coughing again this morning. And so I'm not too happy about that. I'm going to have to really figure out something there because I'm not liking it at all. I'm just getting this all covered. I've got lines right now, but that's okay because once you do a few coats of this, you won't be able to see it. It will look, are y'all seeing this? Maybe I should zoom in so y'all can see a little better. Let me try. Here we go. Now I just have to try to keep it in the frame and not up close to my eyeballs because since I'm 40, my eyeballs have decided to be 40. Let's see. Okay. Just getting that. Anyways, are y'all battling any dental issues? I feel like dental issues have become more abundant, more common the past, I don't know, couple decades or so. It's gotten so bad and I am not happy about it. I didn't have any cavities growing up, ever. I never had cavities. But also, I grew up really poor, and so we did not eat a lot of processed foods because at that time, processed foods were more expensive than homemade foods. So my mom made most things for us from scratch. All of our baked goods were from scratch. It wasn't until I was a teenager that I really ever had like a Pillsbury cinnamon roll that you bake at home or anything like that. So that's what I'm kind of thinking might be a contributing factor, because as an adult, I have cavities and I never used to get them at all. And I remember going a season as a small child, not being very diligent about brushing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Miss Denise. So, excuse me, is going to school for hygienist. Wow, that's amazing. That is amazing. Hats off to her. Personally, that would be a hard job for me. Like, I can dig in my kids' mouths, or, you know, my husband or myself, but when it comes to like strangers, who may or may not have the best, you know, dental hygiene habits, that could be a solid issue for me. I would not do well with that, but we do need people in the world who are able to. So that is definitely a God-given calling for her, if she's able to handle doing that. Whoops. That's how that's looking right now. And anything that's gotten misshapen, I can, once the paint's dry, it'll be easier for me to fix it without getting paint everywhere. Me and my impatience, you never know what's going to happen. You never know. I could really get things messy with the paint and the clay and the hot glue. All kinds of shenanigans first thing in the morning. So, but I went, as I was trying to leave this morning, I stopped at the mailbox, and in the mailbox was one of my Amazon packages that I had ordered recently. And it's the cutest thing that I ordered. It's a clip for my son's visor, and it had like a little cross on it, and it said son, and it basically, you know, saying how loved he is and please drive safe and all that stuff. And I just, when we bought my daughter's car, there was one in it, and my son just had his birthday on Sunday, and I had ordered it for him for his birthday, but it came in late. So I went, as I was coming back into the driveway, he was leaving for work, and so I went and put that in his truck for him, in his work truck, so that he can just remember that mommy loves him, and please drive safe. He doesn't know it, but he's hauling precious cargo, right? May not be so precious to him, because to him he's just himself, but to me he is my baby. So I want him to always remember to be safe. Thank you. Yes, isn't it? It's looking like you just like dipped it in chocolate. And won't that look cute in a little Christmas tin like that? So I'm just going to pull out my toothpick now. And y'all can't see anything I'm doing. Okay. Pulled out my toothpick. And I'm just going to let that sit and dry for a moment. I already touched the paint and got it on my finger. All right. Now we've got my other marshmallow that I had used that black chalk paint on. And I want to keep adjusting them. And if I see any creases, I'm just going to add my water, just making sure, because once you make this a roasted marshmallow, you're kind of locked in to whatever shape it is. So you really want to make sure that you have it the way you want it. And the longer you make it, the easier it's going to be to hide the fact that it is a roasted marshmallow on one side and a chocolate marshmallow on the other. All right, so there we go. That's how it's looking there. Now I've got my grunge glaze here, and it is grunge glaze. The grunge glaze that I make is Miss Tracy's recipe for the coffee grunge mixed with Mod Podge. It is much thinner than the coffee podge, coffee podge that she makes. Gosh golly, all these words and terms and things. The smell was yes. I'm not great at other people's teeth and mouths and stuff. Now, we had a neighbor who their kids were riding on a golf cart, and the grandma was a passenger on the golf cart with the kid driving. And the kid took a corner pretty fast, I guess, trying to turn around. It wasn't even a corner. She was trying to do like a U-turn. The grandma came off, and she had a compound fracture on her ankle. So you could see bone. There was like her foot was over here and her leg was right here and her bone was sticking out somewhere in the middle. And that did not bother me at all. It happened right between mine and my neighbor's house, so we were very close to the event. And it didn't bother me at all. Blood and things of that nature doesn't bother me. But when it comes to teeth, I'm not the best. All right, so I just got that. Oops. I'm dripping. We don't want that. Because I don't want this all over. Gosh, golly. Baby wipes. So you want to be careful with that. We're trying to do it double-sided. We really don't want it to run down the sides. If I wasn't making it double-sided, it wouldn't be an issue. But I really, really don't want it all over. Normally, it doesn't matter. Normally, I am able to just fling the grunge glaze everywhere and do what I want with it, but today I have to be a little bit more precise. Okay, so I've got it a little bit dry, and I'm just going to keep that running. I put a little bit more glaze on my brush, and I'm going to put another layer on there just where I have it. I want some color variations with this. You see how that's looking so far, okay? Looking like it's been held straight out of fire. And I'm not worried about that crease on top. There is a crease on top. That's going to be covered. Okay. It's going to be covered. Okay. Now I'm going to do one more coat around the sides. And if it's moving around, that's what you want. You want those layers to kind of move around and get that color variation going, get those good lines going. Okay. Dry it just for a second because I want to keep it a little tacky, but I am not quite so wet though. Okay. Got this going like that. Just not quite so tacky. See how that's looking? Just a little toasty on the top. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to turn that off because I'm going to get some of my cinnamon here. Whoop, a little more than some. And I'm going to roll that on the sides in my cinnamon, and then I'm just going to tap it. So that's how it's looking on the side. You've got some coming up. You can rub it so it looks, you know, because the flames are uneven when you roast. Okay, and I'm just going to brush off excess. Okay. Goodness. Oh, thank you so much, Miss Lori. You are so sweet. Y'all are so precious to my heart. Thank you so much. All right. And now I'm going to tap with my glaze here. And I'm going to put a little bit more on the top. Okay. And now I'm going to get my instant coffee. And I'm going to put some right there next to my cinnamon. Move this where y'all can see. And I'm just going to put that straight down in that coffee. Okay. Now I will take my grunge glaze and go over the top of that. Just kind of drizzling it on, getting it good and dissolved right on that marshmallow. Okay. Now it's going to be wet, so we want to dry this pretty quick. I'm going to clean up any drips. Clean it up. Don't really want them drips on there. I'm going to dry it as quick as I can. And yesterday I did this technique where I held my tin really close to that heat and got it to bubble up the Mod Podge, and that's what I'm looking to do here too. I want to kind of bubble up the Mod Podge, and you can see that gives it a real crispy kind of look. The same that would happen if you had actually roasted it. Look at that. So you've got that good grunginess of the, oh gosh, I touched it. Of course I touched it. Getting my thing. Okay. That's fine there. All right. Now I'm just going to wipe it off a tad. And let's see here. Okay. Now I'm going to flip it over. And you probably should, not just could, but you probably should wait at least a day before you do the other side and make it chocolatey on the other side. But we're just going to go with it since I'm wanting to, finish off at least one fully for y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hot glue. And this has been sitting, so it's hot. y'all say a little prayer for me right now that I don't burn my fingers. I can see it smoking a little bit. It's so hot. I'm going to turn down my heat on this and put it on low there. I really, really love the roasted marshmallow look, but I also like options. So I'm just going to hold this since I can't put it down because of that. And look at me, I'm getting in the hot glue. That's what it's called, the hot glue. And I'm just going to blow on that to help it along. But doing this two-sided, you can flip it back and forth, which I like. Or you could do them separately, or you could just leave them white. That would be fine too. I need this to not do that. Okay. So that's how we're looking. It's looking pretty brown from that. I would have, if I had waited, I could have cleaned that up a little bit better before moving on to my chocolate. But just for the sake of the live, I'm moving on. And you know, once it's dry, you can either paint it white in the area that you want it white, or you can just wipe it off, or you can just leave it. It's not a big deal either way. Personally, I think a roasted marshmallow with chocolate on one side, that's just beautiful to me. In my opinion, that sounds like heaven. That sounds like heaven. All right, let me get my stuff back. But look at, would you just look at that marshmallow, that roasted part, and how it looks all like roasted from my heating gun. I think that's so cool how the heating gun bubbles up the Mod Podge. I think that's really cool. So again, just doing that. And it's probably better, no, it's definitely better to wait if you can wait. Give it a day or so between to do the other end. But because you can leave it on a pick, on a toothpick, you know, on a piece of foam to just sit there and live its life while it hardens a bit and that Mod Podge cures, so that your life is easier when creating these little marshmallows. And personally, I think that you could do the roasted marshmallows for both the Christmas and the campfire, because if you can roast chestnuts over an open fire, then why couldn't you roast marshmallows with that same fire? We're roasting stuff. Oh. So that's just my opinion, okay? And my kids, Christmas is the season for marshmallows. We like marshmallows, like when we're out camping and stuff. We'll do s'mores and things, but we, when you're out there and it's so hot, it's hard to really do something that's going to be quite so hard on your stomach, I want to say. Good morning, Miss Kathy. Good morning. So I'm going to set this on its side to just behave and live its life. And I'm going to go ahead and zoom back out so you can see my face. Let's see here. Maybe. Oh, wrong way. I'm back. Sorry, you guys are shaking. Let me. Am I shaking or are you shaking? Just kidding. All right. So, got marshmallow business moving along there. Put the cap back on this. I put the fluff in here so that I don't have to make 1,200 marshmallows, right? Even with them being big, you're still probably going to need, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, maybe even up to 20 if you're like trying to like really shove them in there. Okay. I don't really want the fluff to show. So I'm going to throw my glue gun because that's part of it. Just kidding. I'm going to get out some red fabric and I'm just going to get something to go in here. Let's see here. I'm going to cut about there and tear. And then I'm going to cut going this way and tear that way. So it's been torn, okay? Torn and tattered and all of the wonderful, wonderful things about being torn and tattered. You know, that applies to you too, okay? If you're a little torn, you're a little tattered, that means that you have testimony, right? Torn and tattered is beautiful. We all have a testimony of God's glory, and we can be proud of that, all right, that the Lord has brought us through. I'm just going to tuck this down around that fluff, the fluffiness, and that way I can kind of manipulate the excess a bit. And I'm going to use that jumping glue gun or glue tool. Gosh golly, I forget about the words that will get me in Facebook trouble. Okay, I'm just going to tack it down in some areas so that it's covering the fluff, but it's not covering my labels too much. I don't want it to cover it because like all the way down like that, you're not even knowing what that label says, right? I kind of want it to be coming out a little bit, but not, let's not get crazy with it. All right, so there's that. Okay, got a little bit of that fabric just poking out there, hanging on for dear life. All right, and okay, so the strings. So it's looking very clothy right now, but I want it to be a little bit more versatile. I don't know what I got all over my cheesecloth. It's green. Paint of some sort. When I was using green paint the last time, I have no idea. What did I paint green? I don't know. And I've got, look, because I just grab stuff at the end and throw it in whatever. So I've got Excelsior everywhere. And then I'll go back and organize later. This is why my house is always in such a disarray, because you're supposed to put things away, not put them down. This is what I've learned as a 40-year-old woman. It would have been nice if I learned it a long time ago, but you put it away, don't put it down, okay? Because I put things down instead of away, and then I have twice the work. So I just wanted a little piece of cheesecloth to go in here and give that a little bit of extra something, and I will probably coffee stain that. So that's how that's looking on that side, and that's how that's looking on that side. And then here we go. Let me put this way for this one. Look at how that's gonna look. Chocolatey marshmallows sticking out, or here's our burnt marshmallow. Can be on this side too. They can be friends, right? Or I can put it on this side for the Campfire Marshmallows. And I'm just going to get, I set that right in my cinnamon, but I'm just going to get several, or I'm going to get several of these made and I'll fill it up. The fabric will take up some room, so I'm thinking probably about 15 to fill up one of these Dollar Tree tins. From one regular package of Model Magic, you should be able to get 6, maybe 8 out of that package for the amount that I got 2 or 3 out of, because I have enough here to make one more. So that's 3. Anyways, that's my project for today. I'll be spending my day finishing that up, making all my marshmallows, and I'll be posting pictures of that. I thank you guys so much for being with me today. Just had graham crackers. Oh, that's an excellent idea. I could do that with probably some salt dough. Oh gosh, now you've got me going. I don't know how I'm gonna I'll post pictures. We'll see how it turns out. But anyways, I love y'all. I thank you guys so much for being with me. Rise, shine, give God the glory. That's what we're doing today. Thank you again. Thank you for making a homemade home with me today. And y'all take care. I will see y'all Thursday. Bye.